Take that off. Hey, what's up?
What up, y'all? What up? What up? How y'all doing? Make sure my audio is correct. Oh, y'all can hear me and y'all can hear Dan. That's good. That's good. That's good.
We are back. What's up?
Ah,
We
and
said we shall return, and we did.
yes.
Prophecy fulfilled. Welcome to React and Draw, the React and Draw live stream, where two artists try to make sense of this wacky, crazed world we live in right now. Many things happened today.
Too many
I thought
things
it was gonna be
happened
kind
today.
of a dud day. You know what I'm saying? I thought it'd be kick back. I'd have to I don't know, go back into controversies past.
Right.
I have to dig back to when I don't know. Van Damme got punched by Chuck Zito in the bar, old 1995 controversy right now.
Right.
Things like that, I had to dig back in the irrelevant, non-algorithmic trending past. But apparently, a plethora of stories have landed on our laps in the last few hours. So here we are. What's up, guys? What's up, chat? We got Sean
Sean here,
MacArthur is
Brandon
here.
here. It's funny. There's probably already 10 million stories like every day. But
Right.
you can only count a lot. We're only two people. But that's why, that's why this platform has like 8 million other YouTubers that can do the job. So yeah, R.I.P, man, rest in peace to Coolio.
Indeed.
I'm like, wow, I did not expect that at all today.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Brina's here. Yeah, everyone's here. Yeah, Coolio, R.I.P, bro. That shit happened like 22 minutes ago, an hour ago.
That's insane.
Gangsta's Paradise, bro.
I didn't even see what happened, but I'm
He's
gonna go
59
and
years old, bro.
that sucks, bro. Excuse me. I'm gonna pull up the story to see like what Buddha Bear's here. So R.I.P. Coolio. Facts.
R.I.P. Coolio, indeed.
Oh, sorry, y'all. I got hiccups. Excuse me.
So how's your day been, big guy? Huh? You
Yeah,
had some hiccups,
yeah.
physical ailments,
Today was
a
rather
trying time.
yeah. So
That worker bee.
yeah, you
Nice
know how
job.
that is. One day I won't
Yeah,
have to deal with it. You know what I'm
there's been
saying?
some kind of pop culture. It's different now. See, back in the day, they would have shows like Entertainment Tonight. I mean, they still do. They have like ET and Extra and,
Right.
you know, Inside Edition. And they would be the only ones covering these stories. And they would only cover only the most current of news.
Right.
Now we live in the time of the internet where like past, present also mixes in together, So it's like and nowadays life expectancy with people taking like statin drugs and all that, the boomers are living to like 90 something years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I saw a picture of Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World. This guy's still alive, okay? He did an interview, okay? This guy chased a burglar out of his house, you know what I'm saying? Like 6 years ago. It's crazy.
Wait, what?
Doing old people doing big things.
Wait, he chased a burglar out of his house?
Yeah, the burglar tried to rob him in the house. He like broke into Mr. Feeney's house. What was his real name? William Daniels.
Oh,
And then he went downstairs and started yelling at the dude, and the dude ran away. You know
I did not hear about this.
what I'm
Bro.
saying? This is our impromptu pre-story before we
Right.
get
What is
into
it?
the
Yeah, nah, because I
hard-hitting
gotta see this.
news of the day. Yeah, 2018. Yeah.
Son. Yo, what is going on? What is this?
Facts. This happened, bro.
Yo.
This is no cap. Buddha Bear's here. Says, hail all, R.I.P. Coolio. Indeed. We're going to get into all the Coolio news. We're going to
I
reminisce about
love how
Coolio.
this article starts up. So even in his 90s, nothing gets past Mr. Feeney.
That's right. Remember on the show? He used to be like scolding those kids.
Right.
acting up, Corey and Sean and them. He ain't playing.
The 91-year-old who played the stern but caring teacher, Mr. Feeney, on Boy Meets World, was at his house with his 89-year-old wife, Bonnet Bartlett, when the incident began. It would be
A would-be
intruder.
intruder
Oh yeah, go ahead, sir.
attempted to enter through a back door when Daniels turned on the lights and scared him away. The Los Angeles Police Department quickly responded, according to Daniels' publicist Sharon Ellman. Someone tried to break into the home of Mr. and Mrs. William Daniels on Saturday evening. They're both well. Yeah, there you go.
Well,
He's lucky he got away because Mr. Feeney would have whooped his ass. That's what I say.
can you imagine?
He would have pulled out the old teaching ruler and beat his ass.
Hold on, CNN is trying to throw ads on me right now.
Oh man.
Yeah, what the hell be going on CNN main page? It must be like disgusting, huh?
I don't know, but Don Lemon's taking a lot of L's this week.
Yeah, for real, what's going on with
I
Don?
don't know. I've seen a few Twitter clips of him like getting yelled at or something. Like he tried to like talk about reparations or something, and this woman
Lord.
started like hitting him with like some kind of slave trade knowledge he did not know of. And he just stood there being dumbfounded.
First of all, who the heck does I saw that clip. I'm sorry, I did see that clip.
And then the latest one is that he was yelling at some. No, he was trying to. They were talking about the hurricane, and Don Lemon was like, "Hey, how does climate change affect this hurricane?" And the guy was like saying, "Well, I like to not talk about climate change right now. I like to focus on this hurricane." And then Don Lemon kept pressing him about the climate change, and he said, "Listen, overall, it might have an impact on weather, but you can't conflate this with the hurricanes, which I'm here to speak about right now and stuff." And he was like, and he had nothing to say at that. He's like, "Well," then Don was, "Well, I live in Florida, so I know something's going on with the weather." And it's like, bro, like, stop pressing people. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop it. Like,
that's mad annoying, bro.
Stop pressing people, bro. You're bringing on guests to talk about subjects, and he's like trying to derail and get crazy. It's like, stop. You lost your show, bro. He's gonna do now mornings. They're moving him off of like the night, and they're like putting him into mornings to do like their version of Fox and Friends. So he's gonna be with like two women and on the couch and talking about, I don't know, maybe some news and a little bit of entertainment stuff. So
they're gonna call it. Well, Sam Rogers is here. Let's say good morning from Australia. Hey, good morning, Sam. How you doing?
Good morning. Buddha Bears here says kudos to Fallen in Reverse for that metal cover that did with him. You mean Coolio? Coolio did some metal songs? That's what's up. I think every rapper always has to do some kind of metal cover or something. He had some crossover. You know, ever since you know, well, it wasn't metal. I mean, Aerosmith is not metal, but it's rock, and they did Run DMC, and then everyone else had to have a crossover.
Give me a second.
Remember the Judgment Night soundtrack? It was like it was hard rock and metal meets rap, and it was a good soundtrack. Good movie too, by the way.
Sorry, I was just following Brina's lead right there.
What's going on?
Teen boy and woman arrested. Father on the run. No, it was a father and son. What? 17-year-old boy stepmom arrested in the unaliving. I say that like I'm like monetized it. A rapper P&B Rock at what was it? Roscoe's. What was it? A family just decided like we gonna. Okay, Jesus Christ. Anyway, sorry. Her detour.
What's going on?
No, I was reading Brina's thing. He said a father and son was the one that got P&B Rock at that restaurant. So They arrested a 17-year-old boy, his stepmother, and they're looking for the father. Like I heard about it, but then I didn't like they didn't have any suspects. Okay, oh, that's crazy. But yeah, Coolio. Back to Coolio over here.
Yes, Coolio, the Gangster's Paradise. Now, Coolio, for people who don't know, you know what I'm saying? The youngins out there who've never heard of Coolio, you know. Now, Coolio, R.I.P. to the man, the legend, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was very big in the 90s right now, like, especially the mid 90s, like when he first debuted,
Right.
He won a Grammy for, of course, his most known song, Gangsta's Paradise, which is actually a rap version of the Stevie Wonder song, Pastime Paradise. But it was very dramatic, It was the theme song to the movie Dangerous Minds.
Right.
So he had the music video where Coolio and Michelle Pfeiffer is like, I don't know, staring at each other, looking hardcore or something.
Some Sean trivia. I still have not seen Dangerous Minds.
You still never saw Dangerous Minds?
I never saw Dangerous Minds, bro.
Never saw that. No, you're not about the
I heard that song
city,
8 million times. I'll tell you that much. But I've never seen Dangerous Minds.
Yeah,
No, it's just like one of those weird things. Like I never got around to seeing Dangerous Minds.
I mean, look, I've seen it. I mean,
it looked like
as a 90s pop culture connoisseur,
right?
I had to have seen all the movies of that era. So.
I guess I just felt like if you've seen one teacher trying to uplift kids movie, you've seen them all. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Pretty much, they all pretty much have the same formula. All
but
pretty much the same formula.
I always like it was always in the back of my head. Like one day I will watch Dangerous Minds. I just never got to. I feel bad. Coolio going. I still haven't watched Dangerous Minds. Disrespectful.
It's always the same movie. It's like they get like some teachers teaches in the rich neighborhood or something to now work in the inner city, and then they turn the school around or something, because they were always cutting. They were always like the lesson was like they was underestimating the kids' intelligence, letting them skate by. So now you need this teacher to like I don't know, uplift and empower them and all this, and then they either win some kind of mathletics, I don't know, contest, or they have to pass the SAT exam or some exam to like I don't know save the school and get the funding and all this, and then they end up doing it. But then at the end of the movie, they all end the same in a weird way. Like the teacher always leaves the class. Like I'm leaving you now.
Right. To go on to like
to go back to the white school or something. It's just kind of weird. It was funny because I always noticed this, and it was only one comedian that made that connection. Shoot, I've been banking on his name. He's one of my Colin Quinn.
Oh,
he said it in like one of his stand-up specials, and he said it. Yeah, that now I gotta go back to the white school. Bye bye. to make more money. Bye bye. And it's always a weird ending like that. Like, why you already like empowered the school and you're in the news for making the school
like
great.
You rose up,
like kids love you, and now you're leaving. Like, it makes no sense. Like, these stupid. And then what happened after they left? Like the shit probably
went back to being bad.
Yeah, it probably went to being bad.
Because that class is okay. What about the rest of the school?
My favorite of those movies were Lean on Me, where like Morgan Freeman, he started like I don't know.
Yeah.
Slapping the kids around and all this, and yelling at them in their face on the rooftop. He pokes some kid in the head and says, "Yo, what, you smoke crack, don't you?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." And he's like, "You know what that does to you, boy?" And he's like, "What? It kills your brain cells, boy. It kills your brain cells." And just like hitting him in his temple.
Throwback.
He's like, "Why? If you're gonna kill yourself slow, why don't you go all the way, boy? Why don't you jump off the roof?" He's like, "No." He's like crying and shit. He's like, "No."
Using that reverse psychology.
He's like, "Don't go slow, go expeditiously." That's why T.I. he stole that from Lean on Me. That's why he says expeditiously all the time. He won't admit it.
One
Great
day,
movie.
one day he'll
Director of
get it.
Rocky directed that. Good movie.
Ah,
About the principal, Joe Brown. I think his name was Joe Brown. No, that's the judge, Joe Brown. His name was he was Judge Mathis. Sounds no, it's like maybe it was Joe Brown. What was his name?
should I look it up?
Lean on Me. I'll look it up. Movie.
Oh man.
What is this? It is Joe Clark. Sorry,
All right, there you go.
Joe Clark.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, but I bet you Joe Brown was a fan of that movie too, just because he didn't play either. Anyway, back to Coolio. Back to Coolio.
Just Joe Brown, but nah. Hold on.
Exactly.
I was just gonna go through the comments a little bit. Says Sam Rogers says 59 is still young. Yes, I mean I would hope that I live past 59, which in me is like for me is like 2 years from now. No, I'm kidding. I'm still
See, they
old.
set up retirement age that's like 65 as a plot to so they have to pay you out your retirement and stuff. And
No, facts.
man, Coolio. It says law enforcement tells TMZ no drugs or drug paraphernalia were found at the scene of Coolio's death. An autopsy and toxicology test will be used to determine an official cause of death. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ paramedics were called to a house in Los Angeles around 4 p.m. for a medical emergency, and when they got there, they pronounced Coolio dead. We're told police have opened a death investigation, but as of right now, there does not appear to be signs of foul play. However, our sources say the coroner will make a final determination following an autopsy. Okay, so no drugs or drug paraphernalia were found at the scene.
Heart
It
attack.
could be because he took them all and there's nothing left.
No.
But
Right.
I don't think so. I think it's possible that he had a heart attack, bro. I mean, come on. Like, how healthy are any of us living nowadays? You know what I'm saying?
Not me.
They got things in the air. They got the monkeypox. They got the vid out there.
Yeah.
They got what they call that, the people getting the post vid shakes. Like they get the.
Hold on. Stop. Hold on. Sorry. Please educate me. What is the post vid shakes, bro? Like,
I don't know if it shakes necessarily. It's like symptoms. Like they say, like after they had it, the cool for whatever. Like then they have the post symptoms of it. You know what I'm saying? Like they like I don't know. They have brain fog and the heart ain't working that right, and then they like tripping and. I don't know what else it is. They see shapes. They see Super Mario in the street dancing. I don't know, like what it is. Like that's allegedly. I really don't know.
Well, I could confirm that I did not see Super Mario. You know what I'm saying?
Dancing in the street.
Yeah. That was months ago though. Maybe
tough,
I had the wrong strain. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not a physician, so I can't speak on this. I assume in order to get rid of those symptoms, you gotta like I don't know, step on the Goomba's head and get the flower power to shoot fireballs out of your hands. I don't know. But I don't know. It's like I mean, look, you got heart disease, you got I don't know, stress. There's a lot of stuff happening right now.
It's kind of sad.
Yep,
Man.
Coolio died in Los Angeles. TMZ has learned. Okay, so those are the updates. This is the body of the story right now. The rapper who achieved enormous success in the 90s was visiting a friend late Wednesday afternoon when he passed away.
Oh, man.
That's how death happens, man. It's like you're busy doing something, just normal stuff, and then one day, snap, you're out of existence. Like, it's bugged out, bro.
That's just, I don't know. Like, this is not what I wanted to hear tonight. I tell you that much. You know what I'm saying?
It's like I don't know. It's like anything else. Like
Coolio.
wasn't Michael Jackson? Remember when like he had a concerts plan.
Yeah.
He had This Is It, and he was gonna do some big concert. He was gonna do like I don't know, 30 shows in 30 days or some wacky stuff like that. And then that a-hole Conrad Murray took him out. Snapped him out of existence with the
Oh, Sam
drugs,
Rogers
man.
said goodbye, everyone. Great stream, guys. God bless. All right, man. This next,
God bless Sam Rogers.
yes, God bless. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Prayers up. And prayers up for Coolio.
Yeah,
Coolio's
definitely.
longtime manager Jerez says Coolio went to the bathroom at his friend's house, but he didn't come out for a while. The friend kept calling for him and eventually went in and found Coolio laying on the floor. That's wild.
Ah,
Told the friend called the EMTs who arrived and pronounced Coolio dead on the scene. Jerez told us that the paramedics suspect he suffered cardiac arrest. An official cause of death had not been determined. Coolio, whose real name is Artis Leon Ivy Jr., came up on the LA rap scene in the late 80s, but blew up internationally in 1995 when he released Gangsta's Paradise for the soundtrack of the Michelle Pfeiffer film Dangerous Minds. The song reached number one and stayed there for 3 weeks. While Paradise became his signature hit, Coolio had several others, including 1994's Fantastic Voyage. I remember that one. Number slide, slip of the side.
oh yeah,
Dun, Funkified or something.
Right.
Which hit number 3 on Billboard's Hot 100, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4, Something New. I think I remember that one. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, Get Your Woman on the Floor or something.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It's All the Way Live. Oh yeah, It's All the Way Live. Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, he had big hits. It was like his summer jams. Like every year he had like a summer jam or something. Joyous songs. You know what I'm saying? You talk about the reality of the inner city gangster life right now and the sadness of it.
Right.
And then he was rapping about, going a voyage with him and fun and, uplifting. This is stuff you play at the cookout with your family and stuff like that. It's like you want to listen to rap, but you don't want to be too edgy. Like, you're not going to be playing like, back in the 90s, we're going to play like DMX at the, some barbecues, I guess they play DMX.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're some of the rough and tumble family barbecues, or some of the family members have been incarcerated and went to the school of hard knocks. You hear what I'm saying? Maybe they play some It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Maybe like 6-year-olds can handle it, with parental supervision.
Right.
But mostly they would just play things like, Coolio, Montel Jordan, things like that, Skee-Lo, he wish he was taller, he wish he was a baller.
That's a throwback.
Rapping about height and, the height supremacy and, sort of an allusion to the red pill manosphere movement where they say women only want to date 10 men or 6 feet tall or something. I guess Skee-Lo was some kind of prophet or some kind of crystal ball.
Skee-Lo was a prophet for I don't know, my man AT.
Who's AT? Is that like ET, but like from Atlanta or something?
Mr. Andrew.
Oh, Mr. Mr. Tate.
Yes.
Very interesting. So there you go. R.I.P. Coolio. We respect you. Big ups.
Definitely R.I.P.
It's very sad.
This guy. It's funny. I just was reading through this. This is like I'm sad now. Like just reading this.
Yeah, you never heard Coolio like do anything crazy. I mean, maybe he did something crazy. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna hit me up and say, "Oh man."
But I never heard anything that was so crazy that I'd be like, I can't believe, that's whack.
Sean's sad right now. He can't go on.
I can't. I can't go on no more.
Coolio. Yeah, so R.I.P. Coolio. We miss you. Pray for the family. All right. That's that.
Yeah. Let me read through some.
Watch Dangerous Minds, Sean. it's not that bad.
Nah, I'm gonna go. All right, y'all. Everybody was watching that. I will go at some point in time retroactively watch Dangerous Minds. I don't know why I
It
meant
was
to.
part of the Jerry Bruckheimer, Don Simpson revival
Mm-hmm.
of the 90s,
Hmm.
you know? Like after Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise kind of tanked and like Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer were in like movie limbo for a while. They had a few projects that like 5 years later they had to come back big,
Yeah.
so they came back with like Bad Boys,
Mm-hmm.
um, The Ref with Dennis Leary. I don't know, that didn't really make big bucks, but still.
Right.
Crimson Tide, big movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bad Boys. Did I say Bad Boys already?
Uh.
Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, right? You got that,
Yeah.
and Dangerous Minds. So that's just like so. So
Okay.
every like all their movies always had to have a song
Yes.
mixed in with the movie to sell the movie. That was like like Top Gun had Danger Zone and all that stuff, and Beverly Hills Cop had the Neutron Dance and Shakedown by Bob Seger. So Dangerous Minds had to have the Coolio song. You know what I'm saying? And they don't really do that anymore. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Like they don't really do that
There's
anymore.
no
Like
songs now. It's just like pure movie score.
yeah, it's like pure movie score. Like or they have a song. It doesn't match the movie in some way. It's like
Right.
it's some random mixtape thing. Like the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's only like old songs,
Yeah.
but they never, they stopped doing that around like I don't know the early 2000s. I think like the last song I remember was paired with a movie was like what like I don't know X Gonna Give It to You on the Cradle to the Grave soundtrack. I haven't.
How long ago was that? Like 20 years
I
ago?
don't remember. I don't remember. I assume it's like the early 2000s because the early 2000s are kind of blur for me. Really, like I don't know why.
Because nothing was that was when like I don't know, early 2000s was like I don't know, post I don't know, that was like post Matrix and
Yeah, it's
like there
like
was a bunch
post.
of rip-offs and like nothing was that dope. It was just kind of I don't know. I don't know. Things were, I mean, I can't say that about I mean, nothing is cool now. You know what I'm saying? I'm
It's
still
starting
saying
to
it.
come back to me, like in a way, like because some people are actually having early. A lot of Gen Z people are having like uh early 2000s nostalgia, which is
Mhm.
like crazy for me. Like I don't even know what that's like. That's like bizarre to me, but I think I'm beginning to remember through them, like by watching their YouTube videos about it. I'm beginning to remember things. Like I
Right.
remember stuff like remember MTV. They like Total Request Live was like kind of phasing out in a way,
Yeah.
and then they were just had like these weird reality shows like like Wilmer Valderrama had that show Yo Mama, where they just had like a bunch of kids. They'd be like around I don't know a jungle gym, or they'd be like at the school, or they'd be outside of like a parking lot, and they're just like busting on each other with Yo Mama jokes, like a rap battle. Is like the most awful show or something like that. But like I remember I saw like a tons of episodes about it. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, like because
Mhm.
there was nothing else on TV. You know, and a lot of reality shows like Surreal Life. Like Corey Feldman and
Oh,
Flavor
yes.
Flav in the house, and they
Flavor
can't deal with Flavor
Flav.
Flav's antics and things like that. So
Flavor
that's basically,
Flavor Flav and Brigitte.
exactly like that was kind of a blur. Like it's kind of a blur. But, yeah, Sean McGrath says what they say. They didn't have the heat
Oh,
is on as well. They did have the heat is on exactly. Yeah, the heat is on was fired. That was Glenn Fry. They could package the soundtrack. I think it was on the same soundtrack from like Beverly Hills Cop 1.
hmm.
Brina says, all I can think of regarding the early 2000s is 9/11. That's pretty deep. I
Yeah.
mean, that's pretty, I mean, it's very, well, that's the most memorable moment.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Maybe that's why I don't remember, because it was such a bummer. Like right after that happened, everything became a bummer.
I mean, true. It's like, who the heck is gonna hang on to anything like right after like that madness occurs?
Like there was like, it was like kind of like this fake happy shit going on like after that or something. Because you knew like the world was at war and we're going to be at war forever.
Right.
And then I don't know, you watch TV and they like and music stores, they try to like stop with like hard grunge and dark industrial music and
Hmm.
gangster rap, and they tried to put more like a party rap vibe to the gangster rap, and they had boy bands, and
Right.
that was like Britney and Christina Aguilera time, and it was like new metal time. So it was kind of like they were trying to have like this fake happy vibe, but under the current, under the underbelly was like this, I don't know, military industrial complex rising.
Aren't we technically still? Isn't the war on terror still going on, or did that fake end?
Yeah, the war, yeah, it's still going on, so it's kind of like it's kind of like it was like kind of weird in a way. And the weirdness is still here in some way.
Right.
That's right.
Let's try to see what else is
Trying to
going
get the
on.
resolution better on my thing. Hold on here. Dun dun dun
Oh,
dun dun.
oh,
All right, that's better.
all right.
It says. The car cam says, "I remember MTV used to play music." Yeah. Well.
Yeah, that was wow, that's a true throwback. We'll have to do a retro react and draw of that. Remember when
It's
MTV
entire
played music? Like,
entire two generations that don't even realize that MTV used to play music. Sean MacArthur says, first off, all my years, I've never heard anyone call TRL by its actual name. I'm a bit old. I remember Carson Daly and all those guys. Venus says, I say that because I was like 5 or 6 when it happened. When it happened, was George Bush reading you fairy tales in a school
oh
building for some
word,
reason?
was it, and was the book upside down? Were you in that school?
Was there a Secret Service member walking up to him and whispering something to his ear, and he had no reaction when it happened? Were you part of the school group when that happened? Can I get a first-hand account of that situation?
Right. Inquiring minds want to know.
So Sean McGar, he wants a 2-way. He still wants the 2-way, bro. That's hilarious. Sean McCarthy's talking about a 2-way. Now, a 2-way is like a walkie-talkie that goes 2 ways, sender and receiver kind of thing.
Oh, right.
And you can get different channels on it, sort of like a police band radio. But it was like a lot of like people in the hood used it because
it's yeah, that just brought up
you didn't have to pay you didn't have to pay any phone bills.
Right. not a personal memory. I just remember somebody using it.
Yeah, me and Sean knew somebody who was using the 2-way in an inappropriate manner.
Yes.
Can't really disclose what he was doing.
Right.
But it was hilarious.
Just know. It was I was freaking crying. It was hilarious.
Well, I could tell one part from it. It was kind of funny. Like here's some kid trying to, I don't know, act like a goofball on a 2-way, and then like, I don't know, we played he played those Arnold Schwarzenegger soundboards. Remember they used to have Arnold Schwarzenegger soundboards and him saying like, I'm a cop, you idiot, and like I'm Detective John Kimball, and who is your daddy and what does he do? All his famous lines from Kindergarten Cop, And he was pretty funny. Like the kid was freaked out.
Yeah.
It was kind of hilarious. That's all I'll say about that.
That's why I started laughing, because I just automatically remember.
Please, John Kimball. Don't arrest me, John Kimball, please.
Oh man, it's truly so much.
The Arnold's gonna come out of here and say, coming for you, your little inner city hoodlum. There will be no programs to help you. It's just Arnold's rage. I love it. I miss those soundboards. Those soundboards are fantastic.
Did you,
They had one for Arnold. They had one for Miss Cleo. Doing the psychic
right.
hotline. They had a bunch. They were pretty tripped out. Jerky Boys.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Yeah, good times.
This wasn't a soundboard one, but I think my favorite like prank call joint, like the my favorite recent. I don't even think this is recent anymore. Was when man, what radio show was it that was calling the lady pretending to give her tickets to the wrestling on some with John Cena.
I don't. You remember this?
Yeah,
What
I remember.
soundboard was this? Was it John Cena
No,
soundboard?
it wasn't a soundboard. It was like so they kept calling a lady up, and I guess her husband like put them up to it, and it was like hello, ma'am, do you like wrestling? And then it was it's like, oh no, we don't watch wrestling in this house because I'm about to give you some free tickets to see John Cena. And then they kept playing like the theme song in the back, but they would call her with a different trick every time. Trust me, it's
Oh,
funny. It's funnier if you actually hear it. I'm sure it's on YouTube. I think that thing's got like a million views
that's what we
by now.
do with society, right? We harass people over the phone. The poor and elderly for our entertainment. Not me, but society does that. You know what I'm saying? But we all listen to the recordings and have a big laugh. Remember they had a show on Crank Yankers
Yes, I
where it was like
remember
these
that.
comedians that would just call up people on the phone and they would just and harass them and prank them, and then they would record it and they made like a show. This is like crazy. This is how crazy the 2000s were. This I remember from the 2000s. It was just a crazy era where you could just do anything. You know what I'm saying? You could do crimes and make money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like
Right.
nuts. They made a show called Crank Yankers where like these comedians, famous ones, like whatever, like Dave Attell, Dave Chappelle, or I don't know if he was on it, but people like that
Hmm.
on that level, Jimmy Kimmel, I think he was on it,
Hmm.
and they would just prank people over the phone, record the call, and then they would get puppets to act it out, and this was on Comedy Central, and then they would like, sell real ads on it, like Nabisco and like, Ford trucks and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Right.
There was a show on VH1 called The Pickup Artist where they had this guy named Mystery with like a hat. You know what I'm saying? And he would like
Oh,
get a bunch of
mystery.
nerds and like dress them up and pimped out suits and tell them to lie to women. Like
Right.
tell them you're a race car driver, whatever you got to do to get some buns.
Right.
And this was like an actual show. And then like if one guy got lucky, they'd be like, yes, success story. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just like it was like the No Rules Party House. That much I remember. You know what I'm saying? All right. So next story. Next
Yeah.
story.
Should we read some of the comments first? Or?
Of which I will say, what's this? Brina says, oh, Alpha Proto's here. What's up? He says Coolio has passed on to the Gangster's Paradise. He has.
He has
He
indeed.
has. He has crossed over like on the Asgardian bridge to Valhalla.
Yep.
He has reached the Gangster's Paradise where he's been spending most of their life living in the Gangster's Paradise. Shout out to Coolio on a serious tip. Good guy. Good guy.
Yeah.
Brina says, what's even more memorable was that I was supposed to play hooky that day with my dad on 9/11, but got called in to work, so I never got to see the Twin Towers in person. She never saw it.
Oh wow.
Never saw it.
Hmm.
The last time I was in the Twin Towers was when I saw it was Borders, a Borders bookstore, right? And I saw, what's his name? The guy who directed Requiem for a Dream.
Oh wow.
What's this? I'm blanking on things. You're getting old, you forget names. Darren Aronofsky, that's his name.
There you
Darren
go.
Aronofsky, right? And this is because I read the book Requiem for a Dream, and I saw the trailer for the movie, and I knew it was going to show up at Borders talking about the movie. He was there with the author of the book, Hubert Selby Jr., and they were talking about it, and it was very small. It must have been like about like 12 people were there or something like that. So I was like as close to I am to this computer, them close to this, I don't know, whatever. Very close. And I forget. I think I asked him some like fanboy question about like Batman or something like that or something. Like, oh, is he working with because he was going to do a Batman movie. He was going to do like a year one Batman movie, and he says, oh, I'm talking to Frank Miller about it, but
I
that never
remember
happened.
this. Yes.
Right. And then yeah, that was it. And then that was the end of that. It was an impressive building, you know. They had observation deck. It was pretty lit.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've ever been near it.
Yeah. Kara Kemp says, I remember watching an intergalactic music video by the Beastie Boys in 96 or 97. Oh, that was huge.
Oh yeah.
Remember the robots were like
Yes.
smashing up the buildings and all
Yep.
this? Yeah, that was a big time video. They were like hyping that up, and then they played it, and we were all amazed, like, whoa. And then after school, we would talk about it, like, yo, you saw the intergalactic video?
Right. Man,
Because
that's a
Sean and I went
throwback.
to the same high school, so we were like,
Right.
you know, this was like, yo, it's a big deal. It was a big deal back in the day. Beastie Boys. You know, it's funny, they would never play the Beastie Boys like on the rap stations
You're right.
yeah. It was like some kind of they were being racist toward the Beastie Boys. They wouldn't
They
integrate.
had to have the way for like Eminem to pave the way, bro.
Yeah, they played Eminem, but then they wouldn't play the Beastie Boys or something, which is kind of strange since they were like the original rappers. And Brina says elaboration. Oh yeah, Proto Alpha says,
Sam Jackson soundboard.
yeah, imagine that. The Sam Jackson soundboard yelling at you.
Yeah.
Sam Jackson, he don't turn down a job, so you could probably just hire the real Sam Jackson to yell at people on the phone.
That's true.
The amount of money.
Sean says the John Cena and the Super. Oh, see, he's on the video. Sean knows what I'm talking about. Sean knows what video I'm talking about, or
Yeah,
audio
Sean
rather.
McCarthy. Yeah, exactly. He also agrees. Sean McCarthy says, yeah, the 2000s were crazy. Girls Gone Wild. WWF's Attitude Era was all time high. New York was still picking up after Woodstock '99. True. True.
They can't have no Girls Going Wild come out now. Well, now it's on the internet. Now instead it's on the internet. It's called OF or something.
Yeah, they're shoving it all more underground. Now they're streaming, so like.
Now I'm not even gonna bring up this story, but side note, was that real or why does Rachel Dolezal? Anyway, y'all could go look it up yourself. I'm like,
something about Rachel Dolezal has an OnlyFans. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
That's interesting. Like when you get super canceled, that's all you have left. Like you're now shoved into the underground, and that's what happens to you. But it's funny though, like they had Girls Gone Wild DVDs, like commercials on television.
Yeah.
Like during like primetime hours, you know, you watch E Entertainment television, you know, if you're watching like whatever the show where they put on the trailers on TV, and then Girls Gone Wild ad will pop up.
Right.
You know, you'd be watching like whatever, like you'd be at like 11:45 on TBS watching Bloodsport, and then a Girls Gone Wild ad would come up, like just wild. That's wild.
That is pretty wild.
Someone's daughter is flashing himself in Mardi Gras. They're like videoing it. It's crazy. Wacky times. All right, here we go. Anyway, let's get into it.
All right.
You got this?
Yeah. I don't know if I should read this article or the other article.
Let's go into the other article.
All right. Why is this so small? Whatever. Actually, I forget. Like that's just small to me. All right. Stranger Things star Caleb McLaughlin. Pronounce that right? Claims he faces constant racism from fans because I was born with this beautiful chocolate skin. I'm not loved. Said he's not loved. Yeah. He's not loved because of the chocolate skin. Let's see here. The latest actor to level such accusations against their own fan base, Stranger Things star Caleb McLaughlin. recently claimed that he has faced constant and unrelenting bigotry from fans throughout his time
Mm.
on the popular Netflix series based on the fact that I'm black.
Now, did he say that though? Like, did he say unrelenting? I
Ah,
remember. I remember he was like, you got to play the video. We got to
yeah.
play the video
Let's play the
because
video.
in the video he's talking about a specific Comic Con he went to, and I believe he went to Belgium. I don't know why he's going overseas, but like, maybe he had to sell this thing across the world or something. And I guess when you're a child actor, they like own you. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like Hollywood, like, I don't know. You basically give over your children to Hollywood, and they like zip you all over the place and stuff, and just
Right.
hope that they don't, like, 10 years later flip out and do an OnlyFans or something. Um, so he's in Belgium, right? And he's talking about like his line wasn't as big or something like that.
Hmm.
I don't know. You got to go to the video,
All right, hold on. Here we go.
and you got to play it up because it's kind of low, right?
Yeah, I gotta like crank this thing up. Here we go.
Like, obviously when the show first came out, it was definitely took a toll on me as a younger Caleb. My very first Comic Con, some people didn't stand on my line because I was black. Some people told me like, "Oh, I didn't want to be on the line. Oh, because you were mean to 11." Even now, like some people don't follow me or don't support me because I'm black. And and even overseas, sometimes overseas, like you'll feel the racism, you feel the the bigotry, and it's something sometimes you can't really. It's hard to talk about and for people to understand. But when I was younger, it definitely affected me a lot because you're like, why? Like this is a deep conversation right now. They're like, why have the least amount of followers? I'm on the same show as everybody from season one. But then, my parents had to be like, it's a sad truth, but it's because you're the black child on the show. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Because I was born with this beautiful chocolate skin, I'm not loved. But that's why I have with my platform, to spread positivity and love because I do not give hate back to people that give hate to me.
Yeah, except this audio is not good. I could barely understand what he's saying. So I don't know
Right.
if anyone heard that. This is audio discrimination. True. True. There's no way to like boost that, right? No.
No, unfortunately, that was about
Well,
as
he
boosted.
did say in the video that he said even now. So I guess he's alluding to even now he feels it. You know what I'm saying? It's a tough thing. Like you can't really say because it's like you're going off of just his experience. It's not like he could bring like evidence or something to the situation.
Right.
Like you can't like counteract him and say no, that didn't happen to you. And it's like, well, who's the only witness? Him and the people.
So I do remember something vague. Um, and when I say vague, because I looked into it for like literally like probably I want to say like 5 minutes. Like somebody on TikTok like posted like a video or something or a picture of like their parents and their friends as kids, and it was like, yo, they look like the Stranger Things cast. And then apparently like Caleb came in and was like, you're only saying that because one of the kids is black. It was like, and it was an old like '80s style photo, and then like I guess the guy who the guy who posted it didn't realize it was Caleb, and he was like, man, they do look like the Stranger Things kid, and then people commented like, yo, that's literally like Caleb, like he is the guy or something. But the
Oh,
funny
so
part,
that they're
huh? Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, is it?
The funny thing about it though is like when I saw the photo, I was like, yeah, because they had like the haircuts or whatever. So I'm like, Okay, that's funny. Like, it's Stranger Things esque to say it doesn't look like Stranger, but I guess he felt like, oh, there's one black kid. That's why he's saying it's Stranger Things. I don't know. It seemed like It seemed like in that particular situation, he was like, I don't know. I don't know what the word is. I don't know. Like I don't know if that would have bothered me to be perfectly like me
So
personally.
the photo, it wasn't a photo of him.
No,
It,
it
it
was a
was it was a
photo
photo of somebody
of
that looks like him.
no, it was a photo of a group of kids in the
Right.
80s or something. And
Right.
apparently two of the kids were the parents of the actual official poster, the original poster, excuse me. And then Caleb came
Right.
in and said, "Oh, you only think that because like one of the kids is black. They look nothing like the Stranger Things kids."
Oh.
Well,
Well, it's interesting how he told in this story that he was wondering how come there's people not in his line or something, and then his parents told him that
mhm.
it's because you're black or something. So is it like the parents put the seed in his brain that he cannot look away now, or is it really happening? It's like one of those movies where you can interpret it in both ways.
Right,
It's like, you know, and for that you would have to deprogram yourself from what your parents told you and then just try to experience it from your own lens and
right,
see how it shakes out, because something like that as a young age, and I'm sure he was like, even younger than he is now, that just like forms your personality on some level. But it's not a far-fetched thing. Like, who knows? Like, I mean, I can't really say. It's like, it's just kind of strange because it's like, in the end of the day, though, the guy has 15 million like Instagram followers. That means like he's
right,
doesn't have to work another day in his life ever again. Like,
right,
unless he wants to live in like a super mansion, like in Calabasas or something, then yeah, he's gonna have to keep hustling to the day he dies to make money. But as of now, you could probably get like a dope condo in like, you know, in Texas or something, and live legit for the rest of your life if you do make the right investments. So I mean, I don't know, but I gotta compare. What he has 15 million. So then what happens? Like
because he's
the
50 million
what
and
that
Dustin got like I don't know
yeah,
30 million or something.
400 million.
I
like,
don't know.
what's the discrepancy?
Like, I don't know. For first of all, I love Stranger Things, right? I like the show. I like all the characters and everything, but I've never really like dug deep to go to their social media platforms myself. I just wait until the season comes out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know. Uh, Alpha Pro says, with that much money, taxes will wreck him. Oh yeah, no, because like that's like the popular like misconception of some people like, oh, like you're so rich, you could just evade your taxes or like don't like no man, they get like taxed like 50% or some craziness. Last I heard, like it's a lot.
That's that's true. The taxes will wreck him, especially if you live in California. They will wreck him. He need to go to like, I don't know, red state or something.
Yeah, word
But
because
these guys, they want to live where the action is, where they got to schmooze some Hollywood dude to get more money or get a part, or they can't be like you know maxing and relaxing, lamping up in like, I don't know, Idaho.
right.
That'd be the move though, to like get like a dope house like in Idaho, be chilling.
That's
You
true.
can live like a king. You can like have a skyscraper in Nebraska and stuff. Be the king of Nebraska. Look how Kanye, he went out and like he bought like land
Yeah,
in some Midwest state, and he's gonna live like a fat cat over there. And his wife Kim didn't want to move out there because she wants to like live this fancy pants lifestyle in California with the rising rent. But more money is more problems. Then you got like
hmm,
to keep up with the Joneses. Got to do another sex tape. Got to do another reality show.
yeah.
It never ends. You know, it's like, man, I don't know what to say. Like, I guess on some level, like, I don't know. Maybe this stuff you have to say in order to get paid or something nowadays. Because if you don't, then you ain't gonna get like them roles. Like it's like John Boyega. Like now he's like I don't know. Gotta say you say these things you're gonna get support or something.
Right.
But I can imagine also that that's legit. Like it's a pretty white bread show, right? I mean, it's about kids in the suburbs, 80s music, not a lot of hip hop stuff going on, not a lot of hip hop representation on the show. Not that there has to be.
Right.
So the show may have like a predominantly, white audience.
White audience, I guess. So.
And in the early seasons, they weren't giving him storylines.
Right.
So he was even less of in the demographic until they started giving him getting less play. So then later on, when they gave him like a girlfriend.
Yeah. It started off
more
integrated.
It
was the 11 show, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I thought though he was getting more opportunities as an actor though than the kid who's always getting lost in the what's the guy Noah? What's his name? The kid who's like he's always lost in the the whatever they call that
the upside down.
The upside down. Yeah, I was gonna call it Outworld, but that was Mortal Kombat. Yeah, he's called because I remember this kid. He played he was in the New Edition movie on BET, and like he was singing a little bit. So I think this kid had like more visibility than the kid who was always in the upside down. But I could be mistaken. Brina says white bread's pretty good if it's the right bread. I'm a fan of white bread.
It's bad for y'all. You got to get the wheat bread, my brother. You got to
you gotta get the whole wheat, my brother.
Hold on. Let me get my what do they call them, Joyce? The little hat that they be using in them memes. This is how uneducated you are, brother. You don't even know the name.
The Coming to America, King Joffrey Joffrey.
Yeah, that joint.
King Joffrey Joffrey had like swag though. Like he had like the lion like pelt on him, and he was like. Coming to America was lit. I did not see Coming to America 2. I refuse.
I'm not watching that, bro. I'm not watching it.
Man, what's the comment say about this?
I'm not.
Maybe they have more insight.
Hold on, let me catch up with some of the comments though. Like from here, it says Karakan
scroll
up. Karakan says though people didn't get online because they were jealous because he got the girl and they didn't. Well, actually, according to an earlier comment, look, it says he alleged, as he's seen in a video, from the events shared by Twitter user Spidey. I do not know how to pronounce that screen name. Some people told me I didn't want to be in your line because you were mean to 11. So I guess
that's true. He was kind of mean to 11. His character is mostly like he was always yelling at people.
Yeah.
And another thing about his character that I didn't like was that he was dissing my man Winston from Ghostbusters. I wasn't feeling that. Remember? They told him like you're gonna be Winston, and he was like, "Yo, Winston sucks." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, how did Winston suck?
Venkman. And that wasn't his fault, by the way. That was the writer's fault for dissing my man Winston from Ghostbusters. Like, okay.
How was Winston trash? How?
No, Winston was not trash.
First of all, Winston
I'm a big
had like
Winston stan right now.
My man Winston had he had the funniest intro. My man came in the middle of the movie, like literally like the half point of the movie. Said like, yo, what he said?
He said, yo, if there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll do anything you say.
Oh, did he say?
People might understand if they don't watch Stranger Things, they might understand the scene. There's a scene when it's Halloween and they decide to go to school, right? Mm. And they all decide to dress up like the Ghostbusters, except all of them end up with the little patch on their chest, that has the names of the Ghostbuster. Mm-hmm. They all have the Peter Venkman, Bill Murray character on their chest. So they like to say, we all can't be Peter Venkman, and you were gonna be Winston. And he says, why? Because I'm black. I'm Winston. Winston sucks. He didn't do anything. He didn't get the girl. He's just like, I want to be Peter Venkman. And I'm like, look, guys, look. I will not have this Winston slander being I will not have the slander of Winston to have some kind of woke moment right now
No, that's a fact.
on Netflix. Okay, I will not. Winston had the most memorable lines. He had
did.
a steady paycheck in it. I'll do anything you
You
say.
say.
What about the Twinkie? You know, I see shit that turn you white.
Right.
Biggest laugh of the movie. You know what I'm saying?
And then he had that whole outro. Then he said when he said I love this town, I believe. And he was like,
Yeah, I love this town. Hey, the last line of the movie.
Right. Like, come
And the joyous part of the movie. He came in at the middle of the movie.
man came in the
He
middle
had
of the movie.
he had the scene where Ray
movie.
stands. He had a scene in the Ray stands talk about the apocalypse and Judgment Day. And they were going over the bridge.
Right.
I will not have the Winston Stander from Netflix. And
as y'all can tell, we freaking love Ghostbusters. You know what I'm saying? I was a Ghostbusters kid. That was one of the things that people ask me all the time. Sean, how did you start drawing? Two things: Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters, the cartoons. I didn't even know. Hold on, sorry. Now we just start talking. We just stopped talking about Caleb, and now we just talk about Winston right now.
oh, it's related. You know what I'm saying? It's related because they're judging him based off his character. So some people are saying he's mean to 11. He's also mean to Winston. The article did not get into that one, but I think some of that sentiment was in there too. Like, you know,
I was a whole child, and I was obsessed with the Ghostbusters cartoon, and my father literally did not tell me for like I think like what 1 or 2 years that the cartoon was on. Like I know it was on for longer, but like into it, and he was like, "Oh, hey, you want to watch the movie?" I looked at this man in shock, like, "There's a movie." I did not realize that the cartoon was based on a movie. I was so hyped. Like y'all don't even understand. Like so
it's true.
like
It's
7-year-old
like
me.
said. He says, "I was a bigger fan of the real Ghostbusters cartoon than the movie. I never saw the movie. I was too young." So there you go.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
And the cartoon was huge. You know what I mean? The cartoon was so huge. It was like bigger. It's almost as big. It was almost as big as the movie. That when they made Ghostbusters 2 and they didn't have Egon get with Janine, the world didn't understand it. We're just like kids like saying, "Why are you having Janine get with Rick Moranis? This sucks."
Yeah.
And I like Rick Moranis and I like Louis Tully, but this is not how it's supposed to go down. Like this is.
That didn't make no sense either.
Brina said, "This is a Gen X boomer conversation. I'm just happy to be here."
Listen, we gonna get onto
Yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe in the day there'll be some Stranger Things reboot, and they'll have one of the characters just sing like SpongeBob or something, and then you will understand the pain that we felt when that's frustration that they felt back in the day. You know. Scroll up a little bit. Maybe some comments.
Oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like this is an interesting comment here, and I'm probably about to try this. So Alpha Proto says, if you freeze bread and then toast it, that lowers the carbs. Word.
Interesting.
Really? About to try that this weekend.
Yeah. JVP Music says nothing competes with Italian bread. We got that on lock.
Oh, Italian bread.
That's true. Good, I had some Italian bread. Yeah, I had Italian bread yesterday. Alpha Proto says Coming to America 2 is horrible, wasted potential. Yeah, sad. I can't watch it. I can't bear to watch it.
I knew it. I knew it. I just hear from the grapevine. Like, I'm like, nah, I think I need to skip this.
Alpha Proto says the movie you make up in your mind is way better than what they did with Coming to America. I could probably imagine. CT Myers is here. What's up? He says, yeah, he was hating it in the first season. He was hating, and he was mean to 11. He was running around being angry. He wasn't the leader, but he was still yelling. He's like the backseat driver or something.
Right.
And, you know, when you're a kid or something, which is like a lot of fan base for the show, and, you know, they're just like, they're going to be like, nah, I don't like this. But they tried to make him more of a character in later seasons. Right. Now he had like a big arc where he's like, saving the life of this girl.
My man had the super arc in this last season, huh?
Yeah, he was like running around. He was a basketball player.
Man had to throw hands.
You know, had to show off his acting ability. Um, yeah. It says Alpha Proto says Winston was written for Eddie Murphy, but he couldn't make it. That's true. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was originally going according to uh, Dan Aykroyd. He says he was actually going to be one of the Ghostbusters from the beginning, but then they didn't get him. So then they said, "All right, you're not in the movie." So that's it. So they rewrote it for the other guys, like Bill Murray and those other guys.
Oh, okay.
And then they had a scene like, "Oh, we have a window open. I think we can get him or something." So then they rewrote the script again to put him in, just in case.
That's why
he
it's
wants
like that.
to be in it.
Right. Okay.
Right. But then they couldn't get him again.
Oh.
So then they just got Winston in there and called it a day. And Ivan Reitman worked with Ernie Hudson before he produced a space movie called Space Hunter and from the Forbidden Zone with he was in it, some other dude, and Molly Ringwald were in it. Kind of a weird movie, cheap sci-fi movie, but interesting. Ivan Reitman would put his name on weird, interesting things back then. Like he had money in that, and he had money in Heavy Metal the movie. Remember Heavy Metal the movie?
Yes.
The cartoon. Yeah, he produced that too, and that was some wild stuff. It was R-rated. It had boobies in the cartoon. It was wow. Those guys were all interesting back then. Comedy was very interesting back then. They were willing to try anything. Those comedians. Yeah. Let's see. Yep. The Ghostbuster intro was animated by the Japanese studio TMS. That's right. That's why the cartoon was so cool. That's why the apocalyptic scenes look really cool.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know what's the verdict on this. It's just
I don't know.
What do you think? Tell me what you think.
I don't know, man.
I mean, he's the only black kid on the show. Not that matters, right? But I could imagine, maybe they like the little kid more or something. They're like, "Oh, I like the little..." But I don't know. It's you can't prove it. There's no quantifiable evidence or something like that. I understand, the bonding in the comics. They don't like him. They don't like this comment because it's just more accusations against fandom,
right? Which may be
that they feel in this climate. We don't need any more of that. You might as well just smile and be happy and engage with the fans more, and then you'll get more fans or something. Sort of what's his name? Anthony Mackie. I see Anthony Mackie on interviews, and he is naturally funny. Naturally funny. I seen his Conan O'Brien interviews, and he's got more natural charm than Captain America and all those guys and stuff. Which is interesting because they don't parlay that into the Falcon Winter Soldier show.
Which they should have.
They don't let him his natural personality shine that as much. You know what I mean?
To be honest, if they did that, if they made the Falcon like that to offset, I freaking hate. By the way, sorry, side note, I hate that show. I hate that show. No. Because I really hate that show because. You know what I'm saying? Bucky, at least how he was portrayed at MCU version, if we want to talk about MCU stuff, because we all know MCU sucks now. He was one of my favorite characters. I love the Winter Soldier, and I thought he had an interesting arc. And then him playing ever since Civil War, even the smallest interactions that Bucky and Falcon had were well played off. So I'm you're doing a show with them. This should write itself. It's gold. And then what they do? I don't know. They give him the whole Captain America thing, which I always thought was lame, even in the comics. But I'm not even going to get into that. He should have just been the Falcon. They don't play, like you said, they don't play up his humor, which they could have juxtaposed with the Winter Soldier being grim and serious. It's
right.
It's perfect. It's perfect freaking chemistry. So all they did was I don't know, give him some speeches, and then they what's the word I'm looking for? Depowered the hell out of the Winter Soldier, making the only interesting character for me in that show was what's his name? Freaking how am I forgetting? How am I forgetting to do his name? Um, U.S. agent. U.S. agent. Am I saying it right? Or was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He like because at least like he had like an arc of some sort. Yeah, but that show is like so much wasted potential. I was so mad I watched it. I was just like, I can't believe y'all did this. I mean, I could believe it, but like at the same time I can't. But anyway, sorry. That was the end of my Falcon and Winter Soldier rant.
But look, now he has a bigger part in the show. Now, I guess at the end of his statement, he said he was going to move in peace and love. So,
Yeah.
it
I
wasn't like
so
he.
so to close this out, I cannot conclude whether or not race plays a part of anything. I mean, I'm like, Caleb, look, first of all, this is the 11 show, all right? It's the 11 show first, and then second is probably, uh,
That kid with the big bushy hair.
right. Is it
I forgot
him or
his name.
Hopper?
Well, yeah. I guess in terms of like young fans or something,
Oh, okay.
it's about the kids first and the adults second. But in terms of the kid fandom, I guess it's Millie Bobby Brown. Then everybody else is like distant second. Then maybe it's that kid, the tall one.
Right.
I forget his name.
So yeah,
Um,
I can't conclude
then it's
anything.
Dustin,
Yeah.
and then the other two are fighting for fame.
It's funny. He want to talk about like
They're the most famous kids on the planet. Like,
and matter of
so
fact, look, them two right here. I'm like, he's talking about like
right.
this. I don't know what in the world my man's be doing over here, bro.
Yeah, he was
My
missing
man
for
got
like
no
entire season.
storyline.
He had no storyline.
He
only had
still
storyline
got
like
no storyline. Like,
yeah, he barely exactly. He's always
and he's a catalyst. That's the crazy part. My man got
right.
no storyline.
Yep,
So
he's got exactly.
And hardly exists. I'm like, yo, what is his point, son? Like, what?
I mean, it's possible this kid has like I don't know a lot of like Noah Schnapp probably. Let me see the Instagram discrepancy on this. Even though it's like, what are we talking about here? This guy has 15 million Instagram followers. He probably has like what 33 million Instagram followers. Like how much? Yes, there's 27.6 million Noah Schnapp, and the other kid, this Caleb McLaughlin, has like 15 point something, right?
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We got people here with a whopping like 8 followers or something on social media right now.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, follow my new Instagram page, y'all. I only have like like 5.
That's right. Follow us on Instagram. Follow Sean on Instagram because
follow Dan too for sure.
Yeah, we're busy here crying over rich people's Instagrams right now. So I'm sure he'll be okay. I hope everything's okay. I don't think he would lie. It didn't sound like he was lying. It sounded like an incident that came from somewhere, some tough. But
yeah. I was just making a show critique that my man's got no story.
I'm trying to figure out the level of acting ability of like these actors. Are they better actors than like I don't know actors back in the day? Like
I don't know.
Like are these child actors better than Winona Ryder when she was a child actor? Is child acting level like all basically on the same like plane or something, and then you just get older and then who's to say really? Like it's very early in their careers. The time will tell. Like,
right. Well, let me just see the last of these comments. I don't know if you read this one already. Alpha Pro says,
I did.
Oh yes. The line "I feel so funky" really seemed like it was for when it's in the word. Brina says, "Bro, I don't know why, but the quote, 'I haven't been this scared since I was black,' pops in my head." Where was that from again?
What quote? It says, "I don't know. I haven't been this scared since I was black." Oh, that was from the movie called Mausoleum.
Was that the one when you showed us the clip on Twitch?
Right.
Yes.
It was a movie called Mausoleum, a horror movie. like the early '80s,
Right.
and they had the scene with was it Aunt Esther,
Yes, 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 yes.
Lawanda Page? She was the maid or something in this rich guy's house, and then there was a ghost in the house, and then she just packs up her stuff and she just leaves like right in the middle of the movie and never came back to the movie. But that was her line. Yeah, that's a funny scene. That's the best part of the movie, I think.
Right. Alpha Proto says the only thing I hated about the Falcon Winter Soldier show was how they villainized Walker for killing.
Read out loud so that the replay people know what I'm saying.
Oh, the comment.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Said the only thing I hated about the Falcon and Winter Soldier was how they villainized Walker for killing a terrorist, martyred Flag Smasher, and Be Better ending. Captain Falcon was unavoidable. Yeah, it was unavoidable. And yeah, those things, like, I mean, I wasn't elaborating because I was just going off a surface level, but those were also annoying things about the show. I didn't even understand that whole thing with, like, it was like, I guess because he killed him on national TV. Sorry, y'all, spoilers. But I was like, yo, they just, like, you know what I'm saying, murder his boy. Like, I don't know what you, but whatever. And they definitely martyred the hell out of Flag Smasher. That'd be better ending was like so whack because you were talking about. First of all, I'm not even gonna get into the politics of the scene because the politics in MCU of that particular scene made no sense. They had a problem. They didn't know where to put the people that came back after the blip, and all Sam said is like, "You got to do better." He gave him no. I've talked to people that says like, oh, that scene was so moving. I'm like, how was it moving? He didn't offer him a solution. He just said, "Be better." But okay, anyway, sorry. I'm not gonna turn this into a whole critique of. See, if we had this YouTube channel back then and I watched it, I guess I could have did a whole video on that show. Said, but 11 died in the first season. I stopped. Did she die? Or did she fake died? Well, fake died though.
Alpha Proto says, but 11 died in the first season. I stopped watching after the first season. Well, she came back, so
Yeah,
you catch the rest. It's not a bad show. It's pretty good.
yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean,
I really like the last season. Sam Rogers is back. I'm back. What's up,
welcome
Sam?
back, Sam Rogers, like
Alpha
Steve
Proto.
Rogers
Yeah.
and Sam Wilson,
That's like their fusion. Now I gotta draw the fusion dance.
the
No,
Dragon Ball Fusion.
ha.
Alpha Proto says the thing about child actors is they act big. It works for kids, but it doesn't work for adults. They have to clean the acting as they get older and learn the acting as they get older. Most don't.
That's interesting,
Yeah.
actually.
It's hard to springboard a child acting career into an adult acting career. I think it's easier now than back in the day, but still, they still see you as like that little kid or something, and they want to keep you that way.
Right.
I think with the power of social media and the fact that they like earn so many followers as a kid, that I think it's helping more child actors grow into a more adult career because they can still like keep their fan base on their social media
Right.
on some level and leverage that for opportunities. Anyway, Elizabeth Banks. Elizabeth Banks is an actress, right? We've all seen her in movies, right? She's a comedian, right? She was in Pitch Perfect 2, and all the rest. She directed those movies, right? She also was in funny cameo in what's that movie with the Seth Rogen? Knocked Up.
Mm-hmm.
She gets yelled at by Keith Robinson, the funniest part of the movie. 40-Year-Old Virgin, So she directed Charlie's Angels. This came out around 2018 or 2019, right? And this was the second remake of the Charlie's Angels TV series, right?
Yes.
And this one did less. It didn't do well in the box office
At all.
Right. So it was kind of like a flop, in the box office. And a week before the movie, I remember, and we can verify this later, that Elizabeth Banks was basically saying like, oh, if you don't support this movie, then you don't support women in action. And she said that men need to see this movie to support women, or else, you're a bad man, or, you're you're blind, you're no good, or all this, I'm paraphrasing, allegedly.
Right.
But basically, that's the gist of it. Like, the whole marketing tip where it's like, oh, we're gonna make this, then, we're gonna not put them in like, skin tight outfits like the McGee version from the 2003. We're gonna put them in pantsuits, and I'm not gonna sexualize them. This is very serious. It's not even that serious. It's all the movie. It was like kind of silly and comedy and as well. It was just like more toned down than the original version.
Mm.
But the marketing was basically like Ghostbusters, like 2016. Like, oh, if you don't watch this movie, you're sexist or something. I don't know. So anyway, came out just a couple days ago. Says Elizabeth Banks regrets Charlie's Angels marketing. It wasn't a feminist manifesto, just an action movie. Okay. But wasn't she part of?
Yes.
I guess she was kind of adding fuel to the fire though through the marketing, because she was. We get the quote after this article, unless it's embedded here.
Well, we shall see.
But I think she was also saying that too. Like, it wasn't just like the ads and the little promo they show on Extra, or interviews with the cast. The write-ups and articles. It was she was kind of leaning in toward that direction as well. Looking back at the poor box office performance of her 2019 Charlie's Angels reboot, Elizabeth Banks has some regrets about the film's marketing. I wish that the movie had not been presented as just for girls, because I didn't make it just for girls. Banks told the New York Times there was a disconnect on the marketing side of it for me. Banks said that when women do things in Hollywood, it becomes the story. There was a story around Charlie's Angels that I was creating some feminist manifesto. I was just making an action movie. The Pitch Perfect 2 director added that she would have liked to have made Mission Impossible, but women aren't directing Mission Impossible. I was able to direct an action movie, frankly, because it starred women, and I'm a female director, and that is the confine right now in Hollywood. Interesting. Banks recalled a time when a big producer of action movies told her she couldn't get direct action because male actors were not going to follow me. Banks' Charlie's Angels reboot cost Sony and co-financiers $48 million, but it floundered at the North American box offices with only $8.6 million in its opening weekend. Ahead of its release, Banks told the Herald Sun back in 2019, if this movie doesn't make money, it reinforces a stereotype in Hollywood that men don't go to see women do action movies. Despite it being a commercial flop, Banks said she is proud of the movie. I love Kristen Stewart being funny and light. I loved introducing Ella Balinska to the world. I loved working with Patrick Stewart. It was an incredible experience. So there you go. The comments. You got comments down there. Scroll up.
Oh, my bad.
Just click that right there.
Oh, there we go.
Stan Manley says she's a woke fool. Well,
that's it. That's the only comment.
That is the only comment. The people have spoken. Apparently, Stan Manley, Mr. Manley,
Stan Manley.
I'm sure that is the name that his mother gave him. Has spoken.
Men do not see. Oh.
And that's the case closed, right? But anyway, I remember her saying something like, basically, you got to get the receipts,
I want to see how much. What was McGee's movie? What year was that?
What, when the first movie came out? That was been like around 2001 or something, or 2002.
Yeah,
73 million.
That's for the 2000. Okay, now I need like the other joint.
While you look for that, I will read the comments.
Okay.
It said, Brina wants to see the mausoleum scene again. Maybe. Try and find it. I don't know. Alpha Proto says, I just know her as Rita from Power Rangers. Oh yeah, when the remake. The remake wasn't that bad. I mean, considering.
Yeah.
But is it the race swap on Rita? Like they made her white? Like
Yeah, what's the whitewash Rita?
then again, Power Rangers was like a total stealing from the Japanese, right? Like in general, because they were like Super Sentai. And they
Right.
just like bought the fight footage and they just like casted a bunch of American teens. JVP Music is here. What's up? Says she was hot, that's when she started talking. Well, are you? Do you also go by the name of Stan Manley by any chance? AKA Voice of America comment section on Variety.com. He's a hard man, Stan Manley. He's a.
Yeah, we got to find him and interview him on the show.
Right, you gotta get a exclusive scoop on my man's thought process. Alpha Proto says male actors are not going to follow me. They are actors. If they don't follow the director, they get fired. True.
Right.
How much did it take to make? That's a question. Yeah, see if it.
Because I guess male actors were not following the direction of the director from Hurt Locker. Like, come on now, like.
Yeah, the director of Hurt Locker, the director of Wonder Woman 1984, the director of Captain Marvel, and of course, I think she co-directed it with some dude or something. I can't really tell.
So,
the showrunners on She-Hulk, and of course, it's a woman, but it's like,
right.
I don't know who this producer was, and she won't say the name of this producer.
Patty Jenkins.
Oh, no. I'm talking about.
I'm reading the Alpha Proto's comment.
Yeah, Patty Jenkins. Yeah, Patty Jenkins, Catherine Bigelow. I mean, granted, there's not a lot of female action directors, but I don't know. She had a shot, right? I mean,
I was just looking at the discrepancy right here.
So, what's the discrepancy?
Not really. Just the comparison, rather, to use the right term. Charlie's Angels, right. First Charlie's Angels domestic. What is that? That's domestic box office. That is above 120 mil.
I'm looking at the first movie here on Wikipedia. It says the budget of the first movie was $93 million, and it made $264 million. The sequel, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, in 2003, cost $120 million, and it made $259 million. So, cost a little more, made slightly less, but slightly, like just a few mil off or something.
Right.
Then they stopped making those movies till the Elizabeth Banks version. That version cost $48 million to $55 million, so it cost way less. They had a way less budget than the Drew Barrymore version.
Mm-hmm.
The box office was $73 million. So, and they had a marketing budget. The marketing that she derides now. So that's even more money. So yeah, that movie pretty much flopped.
I'm not I want to know, and this goes for everybody that engages in this type of behavior, and y'all know what I'm going to say already. At what point do we stop yelling at fan bases?
Yeah, because I don't think you can guilt trip someone into the theater. I think that's what they're beginning to realize now, and with Elizabeth Banks, which I'm sure this is, the most of an apology we're going to get from her about this whole fiasco, this marketing fiasco, is that you can't guilt trip people into going to the movies. You can't guilt trip dudes into watching a movie. You can't accuse them of being something you don't have evidence of, like being some sexist.
Right.
It doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what kind of algorithm they're looking at or what kind of marketing department says that works, but I think we have enough evidence, concrete evidence right now to show that does not work.
Doesn't
In
work.
fact, it helps you lose money. In fact, it gives you more bad press. I mean, the more bad press on Charlie's Angels the movie outnumbers the good amount of press. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like, there's a bunch of channels right now dissing that movie on YouTube, boosted in the algorithm, versus fans of that movie.
Right.
So that's not good. You know, just leave it alone. Now she gets it. She's like, oh, maybe if I just would have, but it's not me. It's the marketing department. They were the only ones that were doing that, not me. Like,
Of course. But I guess everyone is learning this hard lesson. Disney's
right.
learning the lesson in real
And
time.
maybe, and this is like somewhat a semi-confessional too, in a way. It's like
Hmm.
kind of like a this is my take on it. My hot take. It's like, it's not even that hot. It's like my warm take on it.
Lukewarm take.
It's like, yeah, it's like she's basically confessing, like, oh, she said Hollywood, they won't let me direct Mission Impossible. Of course, they don't let a lot of people direct Mission Impossible. So,
That's a fact.
but they're saying that she's basically saying like, oh, the only way I can make an action movie made is if I make it into some kind of feminist manifesto and have it with all women, and that's the role they have us in now. It's like that's what they're slotted for now. So you have to like be some kind of, a woke caricature in order to get a movie greenlit. So she fell into that mode. Like, I'm empowering women. This is for women, and this is for men who like women. And if you don't watch this movie, you don't like women in action movies and all this. And maybe she felt she had to like be part of that in order to just fall in line with the studio system. And now she's realizing, like, what was I doing? Or realizing, like, I didn't want to do that. I was caught up in a moment. They made me do it, right?
Especially if she's going to compare herself to the original Charlie's Angels movie.
Yeah, which had none of that, really.
Yeah.
And that was directed by a dude, McG, the music video guy.
Right.
Who actually has he has action sensibilities,
Yes.
like he actually has good action sensibilities. I mean, yeah, he's like very music video directory, and he's very pop candy, like, fast editing and stuff, but he actually has like, a sense of, he has some aesthetic, right?
He definitely has
fisheye lens cams and music videos from circa 2000.
As we could see from shows that nobody watched except, us two, like what was it? Fastlane. Shout out to Fastlane.
Yeah, exactly. We're very intimately, like, I don't know, we seem to be very familiar with McG's filmography for some reason. Yeah. We watched the canceled show Fastlane starring Bill Bellamy.
Right.
Directed by McG. Some episodes, a very good show.
Yeah.
Entertaining. His Terminator movie, his Terminator movie, they say that's the worst one. It's definitely not the worst one. Actually, they say Genesis is the worst one.
Salvation.
His one was all right.
Salvation is like a movie where, like, if it
wasn't good, but I mean, it wasn't better than T2 or T1 but it was. I liked it better than T3.
Yeah, I like Salvation better than T3. I might actually like Salvation, barring the first two, which are obviously genius entertainment. Of all of the sequels that came out after 2, I feel like Salvation was probably the best one, movie wise.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know why that's even a controversial statement. Like, Terminator Salvation was better.
It had T3. Great effects. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it had a
gritty feel.
Yeah, gritty feel. I like the whatever camera filters they were using. But it's a basic movie. It's like one of those movies where, like, if it wasn't called Terminator, it'd be right.
I mean, it wasn't perfect because they still had, like, I don't know, some kid stuff in it. Like,
right.
They had like little young John Connor taking care of like a mute, and she has like little weapons and bombs. She pops out of nowhere like some kind of anime cartoon or something. And it's like kind of weird. And then they have this character Marcus, and it's like we don't really want to spend a lot of time. We rather spend time with John Connor, especially when you got Christian Bale playing him. Like
Right.
you're
Because
really more
Marcus
hyped for
wasn't that
that,
interesting. Like he just
right?
wasn't.
And Sam Worthington's performance of Marcus wasn't really that interesting either. And then you find like Skynet is like a CGI, like Helena Bonham Carter or something. It's like it wasn't really the vibe we were going for right now.
Yeah.
But barring all that, compare that to Terminator 3, where you had Arnold saying "talk to the hand" and all this.
No,
And
don't remind me.
oh man,
No.
terrible. And like the plot had no plot. It was just like running. The ending was interesting because like it was a game, but that was about it. And Genesis was like just crazy. I mean,
Which is,
but even that movie
and,
was
and then Genesis is like the second best of the
of the worst.
Genesis is the second best after Salvation.
Right. And I feel like Salvation sort of redeemed it a little bit. Like at least it pointed it in a better direction it could go, this franchise can go in.
Right.
And then Genesis just took a dump over it.
Yeah, Genesis just destroyed it. And then
but at least Genesis, like I'm not gonna defend that movie, but I will say at least Terminator Genesis went for it or something like that. Like they were just gonna be crazy. There was like, oh, we're gonna go into all the timelines of the past movie with new act. I don't know. It was just like crazy or something.
Right.
But Terminator Dark Fate is the worst Terminator movie.
I'm not messing with Terminator.
I hate it. I hate that movie. It's stupid. Right? It is bone-chillingly dumb. All right, and ridiculous. Okay.
My man's got a bad condemnation for it, but well deserved,
Trash. The worst.
They should have just stopped after 2. I don't understand. Like, what the heck was, as Alpha Proto saying, like, why is this still going? Like, I don't.
Search for more money.
I mean, yeah, I get it, but it's like I feel like they could have had done it in a better way. I don't know, man. The show wasn't bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like the show. The show was better than the sequels.
Yeah, the show was better than Salvation and all the sequels. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the Charlie's Angels story for you because they I think maybe it's starting to sink in, with the HBO thing and the David Zaslav, and I never thought Elizabeth Banks would come back and say, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that marketing tip and say those things. Maybe that was a bad move, basically condemning the fan base for not seeing, because that's what people have been saying for the past 7 years. They've been saying, don't say that. That's going to make the box office go down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know what?
That's going to make, your box office go doo-doo. What's up?
Before I elaborate on that, this I see Alfredo agreed with us. If Terminator Sour Chronicle was an anime, it would have been 10 times better, and it was already good. Yes.
Indeed.
I wholeheartedly agree. But yeah, I was just gonna say, I didn't even realize what time it was. I'm gonna wrap up soon. But no.
Yeah.
Before that, I was just gonna say, I don't know. Stuff is getting really bad out there. Like it's getting bad. Like you're seeing it from all the corporations are just like now just like tumbling. Like I don't want to say tumbling.
CW got sold for $0, and the owner now has to assume $100 million in debt. It's not a win.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers, they canceled this Batgirl movie, but it's sounding more and more like they're restructuring and they don't really have a plan. They're just like trying to like scramble and make up an alternative plan on the fly.
Yeah.
On how to get away from all this this junk they've been producing for the past few years. And all the other companies are going to have to do the same because Netflix is losing
bank
account
workers.
Is going in the dumpsters right now. It even got insulted in joke form by Kenan Thompson during the Emmys. Started making fun of Netflix for like shareholders price. It's crazy.
Make it.
So, and then like Elizabeth Banks is coming out and saying this, and it's like I think people maybe the meme, like when like they say like, oh, they come up with some bad movie and they say if you don't like it, you hate women or you hate, and then everybody has to come out with the memes and say no, we've been supporting women in film all these years, and post a meme with like Sarah Connor and the Charlie's Angels and Angelina Jolie and Salt, Angelina Jolie and Tomb Raider, basically Angelina Jolie in anything. All the 5 Underworld movies, all the 6 Resident Evil movies, Wonder Woman, the female X-Men. I can't think of any more heroes right now, but there's so many. The Femme Nikita, the remake of Femme Nikita, Point of No Return, the 5 seasons of what must have been over 100 episodes of the Femme Nikita on the USA Network, the 4 seasons of the Femme Nikita TV show starring Maggie Q on the CW Network,
Hannah,
Hannah, the movie, Hannah, the TV show on Amazon Prime. 3 seasons of that.
Did we mention our favorite, Long Kiss Goodnight, or did you say that already?
Oh, the Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis. Oh man,
Black Widow movie.
Black Widow. I can't. Now, like, I mean, how much hours entertainment is that? That's a lot. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the comic books. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the video game.
Dark Angel.
Dark Angel. 2 seasons, but we love women so much we gave it another season.
Even though
it was trash.
Yo, but look.
Dollhouse. Another with Elijah Dushku. Another season, just because
y'all forgot about Dollhouse, bro. I never watched it, but I forgot that was a thing. I'm just saying, like, like even with like,
and they had to post these memes.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
And now maybe the memes are sinking in. They're like, oh, maybe they don't hate women. Oh, wait a minute, maybe I don't know. 7 years later, maybe the meme is like finally sinking into the cerebellum or something like that, getting in the prefrontal cortex and sinking into the brain cells. I don't know. What were you saying?
It's just like trying to figure out, like, oh, people don't hate diversity. They just hate it when it's forced. Like, I mean, I haven't been keeping up with Rings of Power, but I heard I heard things are going on like this, like, like trying to get rid of bad reviews on purpose, and the ratings are going down, and I heard the She-Hulk ratings are going down. I'm like, can y'all just stop for 1 second making cringy entertainment? And I'm sorry to anybody who's gonna watch this video after and be like, "What's you guys' take on?" I got no take on She-Hulk. I have no take on Rings of Power. I can't do it. I already watched. I already like hate watched on Resident Evil, and I'm done with my quota of crap entertainment. For the year, probably for the year. I can't purposely like watch Rings of Power after. It's funny because people put out like they put out the action scenes, and one guy actually made my joke into reality. He actually posted up an action scene from Rings of Power, and then right after it posted up a Power Rangers action scene. I'm like, I told you the Power Rangers have better choreography. The show. But sorry, I just went off the rails. I'm just saying, like, they can't keep dissing people. They can't keep making fun of their fans or their fan bases, and they must know this already because I mean they're losing money. Everybody's bleeding money, and that just reminded me about WB bleeding so much money.
See, that's the thing, that they have to find another way to market these movies, okay? If they have a female action movie, just market it like you're doing the male action movie. You have to have a lot of cool shots to make a trailer of that you can either get people into the theater by having that be representative of the coolness of the movie. If you made a crappy movie, you still got to make cool shots for the trailer to trick people into watching the movie.
I guess if they want to trick people, I mean, I would say that they should make the entertainment better because I mean, I don't really want to watch a some character that's supposed to be a fun-loving character making fun of Bruce Banner for like I don't know, not being as angry as them. Like,
You got to make it cool, and that's when they make money. Like Wonder Woman, Salt, even the Underworld movies, they made like cool stuff to happen in the trailer, and make people say,
Yeah.
"Oh man, I want to watch this one." Oh man, and then they all go and watch it, hoping the next one's going to be better, because it still has to be about cool things.
I think I've given this analogy before where I forget which Resident Evil movie it was. It must be number 6. All the movies are freaking horrific. And I was watching, so I don't know why I was drawn, and it was on Netflix, and I just put it to run in the background, and I'm like, yo, this movie's really bad. But you know what this movie's not doing? It's not talking down. It's not trying to like diss me. It was trying to be fun. They were trying to cast the characters correctly. I mean, even though Alice is a freaking made-up character, and I'm not even gonna get into that. That's freaking terrible. But like it was trying. It was a bad movie that thought it was doing something good. Now it was a bad movie, but at least it wasn't like yelling at me. And it was starring a woman. Now the direction.
So now, me, you, and Elizabeth Banks are now, on the same team as some saying, let's stop with the cringe marketing. They need to stop with putting the cringe in the actual product as well.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess
then we'll all be really on the same team. So now maybe at least them recognizing. So maybe we're not on the same team yet, but it's in the direction where it's like, okay, now you realize the cringe is in the marketing. Stop that.
Right.
That's half the problem gone. Right. Now you stop the cringe embedding it in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Because not everyone's so hyper aware of it because they've been beat down with it so much. Maybe you got to tone it down a little bit there too.
Right.
Then we'd be good. Then we'd be all good. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're almost there. I take it as a win. I take it like, self-correction. Elizabeth Banks is not going to do this no more. She's probably warning people it's okay to like reject that stuff. Mm-hmm. There was also another incident similar to this. There was a movie about 2 lesbian teen vampires on Netflix, and it was called First Kill, and the showrunner from that show was basically saying stop marketing it just as on the lesbian angle and market it like as part of like talk about the fact that she's a vampire. That would help. Talk about the fact that it's about a vampire hunter.
It's supposed to
talk
be
about the fact about talk about the families of the 2 people, like one is the different vampires that are in the clan, and talk about the different hunters and what weapons they use, and talk about the storyline and like the lore more than just like that they're lesbians and stuff.
Right.
And if you don't watch it, you hate them. Like, don't do that stuff like to people. So now maybe showrunners got to come out and say, listen, don't do this to my projects or something like that.
You know what?
I mean, it's not necessarily making the project better inherently by doing that, but I think it's like a positive step into like, okay, now I have, because then when they're forced to make better products and they can't rely on like woke marketing tactics, which don't work anyway. So it's like fake reliance on that, but they thought it was going to work. So now they have to focus on their own projects. So maybe that'll help them improve their own work.
Well, I guess they feel like, oh, well, the people that we're marketing to, whether it be, people of another gender or orientation or whatever, and while dissing other people, I guess they're thinking like, oh, those other people that we bigged up are gonna come out in droves, and then they didn't. I'm like,
and they don't, something because it was just bots on Twitter.
But this is the problem with which I guess may be seen as a ist comment, but I'm like, you guys, this is for entertainment you're making entertainment about an elf holding a sword. You're making entertainment about a woman fighting zombies. You're making entertainment about like somebody with a blaster gun. Do you know who consumes this entertainment the most?
I don't know, dudes with no life. That's what.
Right. So I'm like, why are you dissing the dudes with no life? Like,
yeah, that's your bread and butter.
Like, what are you doing?
The dude with the heavy metal T-shirt on, that's your boy. Don't diss him. The guy with posters of like, I don't know, the Charlie's Angels on his wall. Like that's your fan. Like, don't diss him.
I mean, I know
That's a
that.
dude.
I
That's
know.
your
I
that's
know.
your that's your that's your friend. That's your best friend. Like,
Yeah.
don't diss him. You need him for the money. Um, Brina said your live stream thumbnails are nice. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Well,
Thank
those are they're half, well curated, but with thought in mind.
Alpha Proto says people with a life don't have time to watch this stuff. That is true.
Right.
I watch a bunch of crap on TV. I am not running around being a foodie at 7 different restaurants, packing my bags, going to Brazil to and whatever, like, normie people do, like people on Instagram who like go on like vacations every six weeks,
Mm-hmm.
take pictures of their feet at the beach and in the sunset, saying hashtag, blessed and all this. Like, that's those kind of people. That's the people they want in the theater right now. Some like college graduate, like backpacking across Europe. That's the cool
Like,
fan that they want. But they don't watch TV. Okay, they are on Instagram liking,
I don't know,
you know,
parachuting.
they're jumping out of an airplane, or they're protesting some, I don't know, some coffee shop because, I don't know, they didn't they were selling, like, I don't know, plastic products or something. Like, those people are too busy to watch hours and hours of television and spend money on things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's you know
Like the
they
people,
don't they,
them Twitter retweet people, the retweeters. You want your consumers to be the retweeters. They retweet and then they left. They
yeah, they say,
they said
wow, I'm glad that they
hashtag.
made this
Right.
yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
No, I'm saying that they'll say, oh, I'm glad they made this new Charlie's Angels movie. And then, like, Elizabeth Banks would be like, oh, great, you're going to watch it? And they'd be like, nah, but I'm glad you made it, though. I'm glad you made it. I'm going to be busy doing something else.
Now, me myself, it's like my life is chock full, you know, but I still want to watch entertainment. Now, I'm not saying that people. I'm not saying you can't have messages in your entertainment. I'm just saying I don't want to be yelled at in my entertainment. Like, that's not very.
Yeah, so, like, I guess at this submission, they're going to say, all right, we're not going to yell at you in the marketing. We'll yell at you in the movie, but maybe the problem was that we were yelling at you too much. So it's like you can't take 100% of the screaming. So maybe you'll take 50% of the screaming when you get in. Maybe we need to fool you better into going in to get
Right.
lectured at in the movies, and not be like,
But,
well, at least you halfway solved your issue.
but then it's for the people who want to consume this entertainment to escape the bleakness of life. And let's be honest, the past 2 years have been bleak, y'all, because we had well, y'all know
Mm-hmm. The yes,
the
they
thing,
were locked.
and
Yeah,
people was all locked, and
yeah, they turn us to a prison planet
yeah, I was
straight
about
up.
to say straight up government control and a whole bunch of like not very happy. So now it's like, okay, let me go and make like get some temporary happiness from some entertainment, and here comes somebody screaming at me because I didn't really like that they changed one of my favorite characters into a Eskimo slash tree slash I don't know I don't know identified as an MP3 or whatever they want to make up. Like, look,
Mm-hmm. Like they changed Namor. He's not the king of Atlantis anymore,
right.
and he's not, because they don't want to please like the comic book fans.
Mm-hmm.
That they want to please, like, I don't know, some I don't know, some college student who studies, like, I don't know, different ancient civilizations that are not Western European or anything of origin, and that's who they want in the theater to impress people. Like, instead of like a comic fan who just like says, "Yo, it's Namor," and then they look at the movie and say, "Yo, that's Namor. I like it." Like, they don't like that guy. They think he's like a mouth breather or something. They want to, like, I don't know, culturally enrich them and all this, and it's just like, man, just please the comic book fan. Just stop dissing the
Also,
comic book fan.
uh,
Just for once. Like, maybe later, you can. Nah, not even. Like, never. Like, just please the comic book fan all the time, please. At least a little bit,
uh,
because the new idea you don't have. Unless you have a better idea, do that. But these are
right.
not better ideas. Yeah.
On a final note, because I saw like we talked yesterday about Hugh Jackman, returning as Wolverine to Deadpool 3, which I think is cool. And I've seen some people say that, yeah, I'm for this. Even people who are critical of Marvel, like,
Yeah.
I think It's a Gundam said he thought that was going to be pretty cool. And I saw some people. I didn't watch their YouTube videos. I will when I get to it. But I saw some of the headlines, and they were saying, "Yo, is Disney pressing the panic button?" And I'm like, probably. But I think I gave up that notion yesterday. I'm just like, now, did they always plan for Hugh to be in it? Maybe. Probably, I'm gonna say 80%, 90% chance, yes. But it does feel like they're feeling like the brunt of these like ratings and all that, all the backlash, and they're like, all right. What do people like? Oh, they like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
It's possible, but I think it was because like Hugh is probably friends with Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds promised him
Right.
like this is going to be a good one, and they can get him on board. And the director Sean Levy, who directed both of them in movies, he directed who's this guy? Ryan Reynolds in Free Guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he directed Hugh Jackman in Real Steel.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
they're both familiar with the director. They're
All right, so
buddies.
then that's most
It's
likely the
probably
case
the
then.
same writers from the first two movies, so they probably feel secure in that. So all Kevin Feige had to say was, "Well, I can't say no to that. The shareholders will have my ass if I turn that movie down."
So what are they gonna
So
do when Deadpool 3 outsells the hell out of everything they're making?
I mean, they could still screw it up. I mean, they could have like another character, and like they could have
That's
Miss
true.
Marvel in it too, and then like she'll take over the whole movie and all this, and you never know like what could
True.
happen. I mean, look at Obi-Wan. Remember when like Ewan McGregor showed up for Obi-Wan, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, this
No,
is
I still
gonna
haven't
be
seen it.
amazing!" And now it's like no one even remembers Obi-Wan. Things like that. It's just, but I
But
think this might be okay.
mm-hmm.
But more of that, because like you see, even the most harshest critics of Marvel, like when that announcement came up,
Yeah,
crickets, right? They didn't say anything. They were like, "Oh, I'm actually happy for this."
yeah. Like
I
I was
saw a few
shocked.
videos
I was
about
shocked
it.
to see It's a Gundam say that. It was like, oh, I mean, you
Oh
kind of
yeah,
have to smile, you know what I'm saying, when you hear it. Uh,
yeah. So more
but
of that. Like, look at the response to that and see, oh my god, the fans love it. Let's do more of that. Anyway, that was about it. The stream's
yeah,
going on a bit
yeah.
long right now and I'm rambling,
My bad, y'all.
but yeah.
So yes, tomorrow for whoever's watching, we're gonna be on Twitch, on Twitch. I don't know if John is here, but I will be working on doing some stuff for him for his YouTube channel. So I'll be working on that tomorrow, and we'll also be doing our artist showcase from our Discord. Oh man, I have to have some plugins here to like pop in the links and stuff. Get that at some point in time. But yeah, if you go into the description of our video, you'll see all the links there. The link is to the Twitch if you ever want to pop in. But we'll definitely be back to YouTube because we want to make this a regular thing. We're talking about at least like 2 times a week. So far, it's looking like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, with Mondays and Thursdays on Twitch. Thus far, but we'll give something more concrete. But we definitely thank y'all for coming in, hearing us talk crap. And remember, everyone, don't watch Terminator past Part 2. And Brina, we'll find that clip for tomorrow and play that clip. All right, y'all. Everybody have a good night. Stay safe and all that, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.